please subscribe and don't forget to press the bell icon to get notified whenever we upload a new video.
Welcome back. The SGX Nifty is indicating that we may actually start below Friday's low or nearly there. Okay, now it's improved a bit. Ashwani Gujral, Sudarshan Sukhani Mitesh Thakker now join us. Good morning, gentlemen. Ashwani, what's the trade for the day? You were talking about it on Friday that the larger trade has changed from sell on rally to buy on dip. So would you be looking to buy this dip if there is a 20-point dip?
Good morning, Anuj. I think at least the first instinct has to be that, we trade Friday's range. So that way we try to buy near, say, 10,270, 275, and then we see if some sort of buying returns. Similarly, on the Bank Nifty, the previous, all-time high was closer to, say, 25,690, 700, thereabouts. So that is the kind of zone you would like to buy the Bank Nifty in. Now, whether, the rally is over and we are going to break 10,100, that we'll find out in case, the 10,180, 200, that starts to get taken out. But for the moment, it's just kind of choppiness and which may finally resolve on the upside. Okay. So my sense is still you keep on buying from a positional point of view, putting a stop below 10,180 and hope that at some point the rally continues on the upside.
Okay. Fair point, Ashwani. Good morning, Sudarshan. Are you also trading Nifty long when it gives you a dip?
Yeah, good morning, Latha. The trade is to be a long in the Nifty. We had breakaway gaps. Now these gaps may need time to build upon. So it's not necessary just because the markets fell intraday or they may be weak today. It doesn't mean that the trend has suddenly changed back to sideways or even back to a decline. I do not think so. Now everything is going on for the bulls. Apart from the breakaway gap, apart from the fact that the Nifty Bank is at lifetime new highs, we also have that seasonally benign atmosphere for the bulls. We are now in the beginning of December, almost at the beginning of December, which is traditionally been an up month. Then we have the pre-budget month, January. Remember, the budget has now earlier. So that's also a traditionally up month. So all said and done, the environment is conducive. I do not think we should trade with very tight stops. We should be on the long side. If you have a position, stay with it. If you don't, look for a dip to go on buying. Your stops should be wide enough to protect you from this volatility. So the stop is below 10,100. And of course, we can change our view later, but as of now, be on the long side firmly.
Okay, all right. So long side it is for Sudarshan. Mitesh, good morning. What is your approach to the market today?
Good morning, Survi. I think, we were talking about 10,100 as the key area. We bounced back from there and then we kind of tailed off on Friday afternoon. But the overall setup is that we've crossed in that process important levels which could be trend deciders in the short term. So Nifty, I think the zone is about 10,250 to about 230. As long as we are above that, I would be maintaining a long bias, looking at targets of 10,350, 420 and 480 on the upside. So the idea should be to buy as close to about 10,230 zones. And therefore, I think, in case you open slightly soft today, I think the early morning trade could be immediately go long on the Nifty with the stop just below 10,230.
All right. Thanks for that, Mitesh. Let's start with your individual stocks. Ashwani, individual stocks?
Well, on individual stocks, still going with buy ideas. So Titan is a buy with a stop of 780. Look for targets of 805. United Spirits is a buy with a stop of 3150, target of 3320. DLF is a buy with a stop of 218, target of 234. Tata Global is a buy with a stop of 254, target of 272. And Adani Enterprises is a buy with a stop of 152, target of 164.
Okay, Sudarshan, good morning. What's your stock list?
Well, it's mainly buying ideas. So we start with Indocount. Indocount has completed its bear market. It's built a very attractive base and is now breaking out. Apart from the fact that it's a swing trading buy, you could also hold positions in it for a few weeks. This is a time when we want to build positions in anticipation of a 2-month rally. That rally may start whenever. And then we have Ajanta Pharma. It's come in my buy list earlier. I explained it's building a very attractive base. On Friday, that base breakout eventually took place. So there is another opportunity to buy this stock. Much higher levels should be coming. Reliance, that old favorite, is coming after a V-shaped, a big decline and what may be a V-shaped rally. That's a buy. And I have RBL Bank. RBL Bank is not in the FNO segment, so you have to actually pay cash to buy it. You know, a lot of IPOs go up and then go into a huddle for months altogether. That's exactly what RBL Bank is doing. It's going into a trading range. That range should eventually break on the upside and be a very attractive trade. So but that's not FNO. And just to balance it out, Tata Motors is a short sell. There's nothing in that chart. You could probably sell it in any way.
Well, I wanted some NBFCs in the list because today the yields will fall and it will be good for them. Mitesh has two of them. Mitesh?
That's right, Latha. And again, the bias is more on the long side. I have Ajanta Pharma as my first pick. I think Sudarshan also commented on that. Good breakout from the consolidation. Buy with a stop at 1237 for targets of 1360. DLF managed to get past the earlier swing zones of 215, 218, so that should see some continuation. This is a buy with a stop at 215. Look for targets of 245. I also have a buy on LIC Housing Finance, which has given a gap breakout on Friday. So keep a stop at 588, look for targets of 640. And the final buy call is on Bajaj Finserv, which on the intraday chart has given a strong upward signal. So that's a buy with a stop below 50.30 and look for targets close to about 53.50. I have one sell call that's on Tech Mahindra, where the intraday charts are slightly now showing profit booking setup. So sell with a tight stop at 492, look for a mild decline to about levels of 465.
All right, gentlemen. Thanks for those calls. We will come back to you shortly. Right now, we need to take a quick break. On the other side, Sanjeev Bhasin of IIFL joining in with a couple of long-term ideas in this market.
Always someone who has spoiled the party in the last 3 weeks. Manisha Gupta is back here. Manisha, I don't mean to be mean to you, but crude is up again.
Oh, well, it is, and $62 per barrel is what we are holding on the Brent prices, and the WTI prices as well are trading on the higher side. But we're just 10 days away now from the November 30th OPEC annual meeting. So ahead of that, you wouldn't see a too long or too short positions being created. As of now, of course, the speculators are net long when it comes to crude oil prices there. Another important event to keep an eye on, of course, would be the Chinese numbers. The latest report shows that China is the biggest importer for crude oil and is the biggest investor as well when it comes to renewable energy as well. So, you know, that's an important cue coming in from that biggest consumer of most commodities there. A quick word on the gold prices also, where you have seen prices gain up by nearly a percentage point on Friday. It is still trading at a one-month highs, but it's all to do about the US stock tax reforms and, of course, the US dollar movement that the gold prices will watch. A quick word, of course, on the Indian prices, where you have seen the gold prices trade at a discount because the wedding demand is just not picking up. So should keep an eye on all of those jewelry stocks as well for the day today.
All right. Thank you very much, Manisha. But today, the gold goes to L&T. That's the big story of this morning. The Mumbai Trans-Harbour Link is set to become a reality at long last. Larsen & Toubro has won the order, which is in excess of 8,600 crore rupees. Part of it is in partnership with IHI Corp of Japan. S.N. Subramaniam, Managing Director and CEO of L&T, joins us now. Good morning, Mr. Subramaniam. Thank you very much and many congratulations for us Mumbaikars. For the last, 12, 13 years, we've been hearing about this Trans-Harbour Link and looks like it's finally getting close to reality. The first question, sir, you know, when you all guided for the order book as a flat order book, you didn't know about this order? So now you can upwardly revise your order book?
No, good morning. Good to be on CNBC as always. Yes, it's a great feeling to have got the major portion of this bridge. It's a historic bridge. It's if you go into the history, this has been planned right from the 1970s. It went through various committees 3-4 times. Bids had been called. If I remember right, once even the LOI had been placed on a PPP basis, then finally it has seen the light of the day. I think one has to, in this context, congratulate the government of Maharashtra, the Chief Minister and the MMRDA for having taken this bold decision, because this was a very long-awaited infrastructure project which connects the island of Mumbai to the mainland. I think this is transformational as the traffic from Mumbai would see another way out across the sea. is probably one of the, it is probably the largest infrastructure project, single infrastructure project, and probably the longest bridge in this part of the world. And therefore, it's a good feeling to have it. And yes, you also asked about order guidance.
Yes, sir.
Let's be circumspect in it. We have just had a quarter. If things go as planned, we will see brighter faces.
So, sir, just to understand this, and we're going to talk more about this historic bridge, of course. It's of great importance and significance to the city of Mumbai, I think the country as a whole. But back to the order book guidance picture. So, at the end of Q2, you had revised it downward to absolutely flattish. Now, with this big order coming in, do you still retain that flattish, or I mean, is there a small number that you could put to it?
As I said, we just finished your Q2 results. We've given the guidance there, and we did not say it would be flat. We said it would be more or less same as last year with a small growth, and we continue to maintain that. Let's see how the next 4 to 5 months go. And if there are big things, big announcements to be made, and if we are lucky, we will continue to do that. Leave me at that on that particular question right now.
No, what I wanted to know is how much is yours? Because there is IHI Corp as well. But on the Navi Mumbai leg, it is all yours. So what's your kitty?
See, there are two parts, there are three parts to the bridge. Yes. One from the savory side, which is the largest package, and that's about 6,400 crores roughly. And then the other part is from the mainland side, and so the total for us is about 8,637 crores. And there's an in-between part which is being done by Daewoo. And that will be roughly about 4,900, 5,000 odd crores. Okay. So that makes the total bridge. IHI is our partner for what is called as orthotropic steel decking, which is nothing but a steel deck with longitudinal and traverse strengthening. Therefore, the load can be directly taken on top of the bridge. So this part of the steel would be fabricated by IHI in their base workshops at Thailand, and then brought to site, and we will erect it on top of the piers. And therefore IHI has been a partner with us for a long time. They will continue to be partners out here, and we'll see how to take the same forward. Also, don't forget this project is JICA funding, and therefore it's important to have a Japanese company working along with us. IHI is one of the best steel and bridge builders from Japan, and it is good to have them as our partners.
Okay, I was actually coming to that JICA funding. Can you tell us as much as you can about the financials? If JICA is funding it, what is the equity portion, if any, and how cheap are the funds therefore for you, and how will that therefore impact your margins?
This fund is directly taken by the government of Maharashtra. We wouldn't be in possession of the details or the nuances of the agreement, but JICA funds are long-term with very low interest rate, and it is meant towards developmental aids of developing countries, and therefore I suggest it would have been a good negotiation done by the government of Maharashtra.
Sir, when does the work start, and when will revenues start getting booked? And also you mentioned that this 8,637 crores, this is entirely L&T, or will some of this have to be shared with your partner?
There is a portion of steel which has to be shared with the partner, but it is minimal and about 15% odd. And therefore, that's fair enough, because that to do it in India is always a possibility. But as we have seen it now, we hope to fabricate it in Thailand and get it inside. But the local works, if any, will be done by us in India.
So when does work begin? When does revenue recognition start? And on such a large project, typically, what is the kind of margin that you're likely to work on?
Work begins immediately. We have got the letter of acceptance, and therefore we have to start thinking about mobilizing and putting the design team, etc. This is a design and build job, and therefore there is a process of design, and the design getting verified, accepted by the consultants and the authorities and MMRDA. Give it 4 to 5 months towards that. But before that, we would start putting up all the site facilities on either side, both on the island as well as on the mainland. And over a period of time, maybe by March, I think the serious billing would start. A lot of temporary structures are required. We need to get barges, we need to get barge-mounted concrete making equipments, barge-mounted cranes. All that takes a bit of a time, but all planning has been done and we are ready to start.
Okay. Mr. Subramaniam, what's the, I hope there are no other permissions needed. There are mud flats, there are flamingos over there. Is all that taken care of?
Bulk of the permits and clearances towards putting up such a large infrastructure project is already in place. We are conscious of the fact that environment is a key factor while doing it on a virgin side of both island as well as the the mainland side. Flamingos are an inherent bird species which is available in that part. Therefore, there are certain time zones put in the contract where we had to go slow or not do any work at that point of time to be a little careful about the birds. Most of the clearances, as I said, have been obtained. There are some construction clearances we need to get, like labor license and so on and so forth, but that's part of any infrastructure construction project, and that we will do so as we go forward.
Okay, and then you just said that it will mean putting in orders for a lot of barges and concrete. Should we assume that this would give a fillip to cement?
Of course, there is a lot of cement used in the project. It will give a fillip to cement, it will give a fillip to steel, it will give fillip to a lot of local employment. It's a huge infrastructure project, right? And to be done in 4.5 years, and that's not a very long period of time when considering the size and complexity of the project. The engineering, it will be an engineering marvel at the end of the day. It will be a beautiful project. And therefore, I feel it will give fillip to all-round economic development around Bombay and in the mainland, that side too. See, most countries of the world, if you've seen some of the top developing countries, they've all developed due to increase of power demand and also due to connectivity. Now, this is a connectivity part. And once you have connectivity, the economic development naturally takes place. I'm very gung-ho about economic prospects as far as we see once the bridge is developed.
Okay, sir.
I'm very positive about it.
Yeah, no, I was going to ask you about the timeline. You just said 4.5 years. So it has to be up and ready in 2021 or 22?
You're right, 4.5 years is 2021, you're right.
Okay,
yeah.
okay. And you know, the clearances question I was asking you more in terms of land as well. Of course, the Bombay Natural History Society, I think, has been involved from the start in the environment discussions. So I guess the environment clearances would be in place, but land? Land clearances, sir.
Yeah, hello.
Yeah, if you can hear me, I was asking you about the land clearances.
Yeah, land I think has already been acquired. Land has already been acquired by MMRDA towards the construction of the bridge. There could be some local, small right-of-ways and such other matters. But as you know, organization like L&T and especially L&T will be very considerate, careful, and take the stakeholders and people along with that. We are known for that. We'll continue to do that. We are quite organized from that point of view, and therefore we will consult all the stakeholders. And I'm sure the government of Maharashtra and MMRDA would do all it can to also put in place mechanisms to take everybody along, and we would do that.
Okay, sir. So on that note, let me expand the conversation further into overall, what is happening with the infrastructure segment, because that was the only, so to speak, point of disappointment in the second quarter. And, you had highlighted that there are execution issues in a couple of other projects. So overall, as you see the end of, FY18, looking forward into the next financial year, for the infrastructure business, do you get a sense that there is debottlenecking? Or are these execution issues still as sticky as they used to be? What is the outlook on infrastructure over the next 12 months, sir?
That's a very expanded question. How do you want me to answer it? I think as we said during the various conversations that we have been having, we are cautiously optimistic. Now, there are certain facts that one has to face. If you look at the road sector, I think what has happened there is in a way significant. The earlier the concession projects were into a lot of trouble because one of aggressive bidding, right-of-ways, poor timely construction, competitive structures by by the state bodies, so on and so forth. I think the government has put in mechanisms to resolve many of that. Few are still in disputes, but I think bulk of the orders there are seeing either the companies are moved out or they have come out on the EPC manner and things have been taken forward. Okay. And as we all clearly know, many of the infrastructure companies went little aggressive and borrowed a lot of money towards execution of some of these PPP and concession projects. And therefore, the balance sheets had gone a bit ivory. The government did a very sensible thing by bringing out a lot of EPC bids during the last 2 or 3 years and thereby give a fillip to this sector, as when you bid EPC, you get advance, you start billing, you get money, and hopefully if you bid right, you make some money to pay off your interest and debt, which is a good thing that has happened.
Fair enough.
And third is this new concept of HAM, hybrid annuity, where you get 40% of the money as EPC and 60% as an annuity payment, which has also partially helped to ameliorate the ills facing the sector. So overall, the road sectors moved forward. Railways have also seen quite a bit of movement forward as the dedicated freight corridors, both west and east, are in motion. And once these projects are completed sometime in, some of it in 2019, some of it in 2020, 2021, we'll see huge economic development as a new corridor for the movement of, for transshipment of goods has been made. And both on the western, eastern side. I only do hope these projects take off on the south and eastern side also in a short while, which will give a fantastic fillip. The programs like Namami Ganga, river interlinking, Bharatmala, all these are massive projects which I see will bring in benefits. But the question is whether they're going to happen immediately or will they take time, because right-of-ways and environmental and such matters are involved. But let's remain positive about it.
Yes, sir. So just a word more, you know, the working capital cycle obviously got disrupted a bit and became expensive, went to 22% for you. Are those GST woes abating? You see 19% working capital levels returning before the year end, the financial year end?
Working capital has taken a little bit of beating for two reasons. Number one, earlier we used to depend quite a bit substantially on private sector projects. Let's say, for example, L&T was 60% government and 40% private. But over the last 2-3 years, it has become nearly 80% or 85% government and 10-15 odd percent private. The reasons being that private sector spending, as all of us know, has gone into a bit of a shell due to various reasons which I don't want to magnify right now. I see this easing out, as I clearly mentioned, sometime in 2019. But having said that, when you go into government projects, there are inherent certain contract clauses that you encounter, like retention clause, like, you know, pre-acceptance, post-acceptance, financial holdbacks, minimum 3 months to bill and clear, so on and so forth. And therefore, working capital has gone up for that. Now, temporarily, due to GST implementation, working capital has seen a bit of a shoot up, but I think this is temporary and it will start easing down from Q3, Q4. The reason for this is when you have government contracts, though there's a clause for change in law, change in tax, etc., it is not that these are just like that accepted. It goes through various departments and trees within the public sector or the government department before this gets translated into action. And that, in my view, will take 2 to 3 months. We see the end of it right now, and hopefully working capital should get back to what it was.
On that positive note, sir, pleasure speaking with you. Thank you very much for joining us and helping us Mumbaikars celebrate this very important infrastructure link with the mainland that's going to come up. It's in your safe hands, and we look forward to 2021 with eager interest.